Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Excuse me. Welcome to our service for today. My name is Shirley, and all of you know who I am anyway. And I will be your MC for today. We will begin with the ringing of the temple bell or Kansho that signifies the beginning of the temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in ancient tradition. It is the calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of the members, friends, and guests of the Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seat. Please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and English in the red Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 7.
Supremely.
'Supremely awakened one, the Enlightened One, the Supremely awakened 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 one, the Supremely a
Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namanda, 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 namanda.
Please be seated. We'll now have the Sambujo by Reverend Kalu. It's on page 9 in the red Jodo Shinshu Service book.
Difficult it is to be born as a human being and to hear the teachings. Now we are living in it. Today we remember those who have preceded us in Amida Buddha's pure land of peace and tranquility. We honor our departed loved ones, fondly remembering the depth of gratitude we owe to those who have made our continuing existence possible and have led us to encounter the precious teachings in our lives. We remember and express our love, honor, respect, and above all, gratitude to them who are now in the infinite embrace of the Buddha of limitless light and life. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
We will now have the remembrance of the individuals who passed away in the months of August and September of any year. Reverend Kalu will hit the gong several times to start. Then the names of the deceased will be announced. Please go forward just to offer incense. Then Reverend Kalu will hit the gong again for the names, and after the last name is called and the incense offered, he will hit the gong several times. He will then go directly into the Sutra verses reaffirming the vows in the Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 117. Mitsue Miyamoto, Tadashi Nako, Gordon Ijima, and Lori Ijima Sato. Chieko Nishita, Kazunari Nishita, Hatsuyo Takashiba, and Nobuo Hirota. Patricia Kitaguchi, and Lawrence Fukumoto. Wataru Tashiro. And our last name is Nancy Hanayo Ishima. Reverend Kalu will now go into the Sutra, verses reaffirming the vows in the Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 117.
Should I not provide to all for countless kalpas to come, aid in times of suffering? May I not attain Buddhahood. I will reach enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice the noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to reach the supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows, I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens, wondrous flowers rain down upon all the lands. We are born in the land of peace. Namo, 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 namo.
Please rise for the recitation, our pledge, in the Windward Buddhist Temple supplementary book on page 44. Page 44. Reaching out to others, I will share a smile, gentle words, just like the Buddha who always calls out with
aloha. Breaking away from my greed, anger, and ignorance, I will try to live in peace and harmony, just like the Buddha who shares tranquility and kindness with all. Moving forward from self-centeredness, I will share a life of joy and sorrow with others, just like the Buddha, whose caring heart always embraces us. Realizing that I live because of others, I will strive to live life to the fullest, with an attitude of gratitude, just like the Buddha promises to embrace us all. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Please continue to stand for the Gatha, becoming free in the praises of the Buddha book on page 18. Page 18. Reverend Kalu will now give today's Dharma Talk.
Let's all put our hands together in Kansho. All that we are is the result of what we have taught. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. The words of Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Aloha, good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Thank you again for coming to this morning Sunday service here at Windward Buddhist Temple. And I'd like to, first of all, thank those of you who participated last Sunday in our peace walk. Although it was very hot outside, we survived, yeah? And also for those of you who participated in last Friday's ringing of the bell here at this temple. I hope everyone is in reasonably good health and coping with these recent atrocious hot days, lingering remnants of the summer of 2024. It is truly a sign of global warming, and perhaps all the worst-case scenarios that scientists have predicted will happen, like the melting of polar ice caps and subsequent flooding of islands and coastal areas. Coupled with that, with the worsening conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East, with possible nuclear war, and it seems like doomsday for humanity, the end of the world, so to speak. Well, again, last Friday we had Peace Day, and we rang the bells individually and at different temples to show our universal desire to live in peace, free from the fear of our world ending in a nuclear war between the superpowers. Actually, several times in the past 60 years or so, our world did come close to ending, but not because of some divine cause or natural disasters, including the pandemics. I am talking about man-made causes, specifically the threat of annihilation from nuclear weapons. Some of you remember, perhaps, during the height of the Cold War, the periodic drills in school in case of a nuclear attack, how children were instructed to duck under tables or go to the nuclear fallout shelters. I don't know if we still have those shelters around. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, proxy wars between the superpowers and so on, brought the world on the brink of destruction. It's so scary. Incidentally, last month, August, marked the 79th year anniversary of the first atomic bombing on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It was August the 6th, 1945, and the second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki 3 days later. These two events were the first time in human history that the power of the atom was unleashed to cause immense death and destruction. The power of just one bomb, one of the bombs alone, was enough to totally destroy a major Japanese city and cause thousands of people to lose their lives instantly. I was born after the war, and so I did not know about Hiroshima and Nagasaki until I studied world history in high school. And even then, I paid no attention to the significance of the bombings. There was a war. Japan fought the United States and lost, and that was all I knew about it. The war did not affect my life at all. And so to me, it was nothing. It was some further studies of world history, and only then did I have a firmer understanding of what real war really does. The horror of killing and destruction affects the human psychology. I began to understand why my own father, who was a veteran from a frontline combat soldier of the Philippine Army during the Korean War, suffered from severe PTSD. post-traumatic stress disorder throughout his life after finishing his military service. He had recurring nightmares of killing and being killed, and these caused him a lot of stress in his civilian life. We human beings can send ourselves to the moon and back and spend billions of dollars to try to eliminate the diseases that kills us. But we pay little attention to rooting out the motivation that causes us to kill each other. The history of mankind is a history of wars and conquest. For thousands of years, man has been unable to liberate himself from fear of violent death due to the actions of his fellow man. And why is that? Because we cannot rid ourselves of hatred, discrimination, selfishness, and desires. We are blinded by our delusions, our egos, our bonno, or blind passions, that prevents us from seeing things as they really are. Our desire to possess things and think dualistically creates attachment and discrimination, as in, quote unquote, this is mine, this is my territory. You look different from us and speak a different language. You are only from a third world country, so therefore you do not belong with us. You are an outsider, and so on. There is the attitude of arrogance, of the feeling of racial superiority and purity. This desire to possess and discriminate is strengthened by the belief that the world and everything in it is real and permanent. The Buddha taught that nothing is ever permanent, and things are always in a constant state of change. So to think that our lives and material things are permanent is wishful thinking. Surely we realize that no one can live forever, and that no one carries money, power, beauty, or prestige with him or her at death. Most wars begin with a desire to conquer other people or possess others' wealth or resources. But sometimes wars can begin by simple arguments and petty quarrels among tribal groups that escalate out of desire to avenge a hurt ego. Where there is no forgiveness, patience, or tolerance among nations, there can be no lasting peace. The anniversary of the atomic bombings in Japan reminds us that it's all the more imperative that mankind pursue world peace and avoid the path of war. We may have our own views and prejudices as to who started World War II or who is the good and bad side. But from the point of view of the Buddha, there was no good side. Everyone was a loser in that war, because war shows that we humans could not resolve our differences peacefully, and we have to resort to war and violence. The show of being civilized for the world to see is but a facade of our inner barbaric selves when the conditions are there. The Cold War between the world superpowers, they say, ended in the early 90s, but it didn't make the world any safer. It's now even back with the addition of more dangerous players. The nuclear weapons are still there, but now they are 100 times more powerful than the ones used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And worse, more countries have come to possess nuclear weapons than ever before. The threat of nuclear war, with the resulting end of all life on Earth, never went away. For 79 years ago, in August, the world was forever changed. The technology for the biggest weapon of mass destruction was released into the world, like a genie out of a bottle that can no longer be returned. This reminds me of a story of Pandora's box. I don't know if you heard about that before. How it was a Greek mythological story of how evil was released into the world that had previously been free of suffering and sorrow. So anyway, a woman named Pandora received from one of the gods a box to keep and safeguard a box that was locked shut and which she was not allowed to open under any circumstances. But her morbid curiosity and lack of good judgment made her unlock and open the lid. And when the lid was opened, out flew all the evils known to man, like sickness, death, hunger, hatred, and so on, that have caused humans to suffer from then on. She tried to close the box, but it was too late. However, one last thing flew out of the box, and it was not an evil thing. It was called hope. And indeed, there is always hope that in today's world situation, reason will prevail and another world war, this time with nuclear weapons, can be prevented. Wars start from the minds of men. Therefore, peace too can be achieved the same way. All that we are is the result of what we have taught. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. Properly understanding the Buddha's teachings of impermanence and interdependence leads to a diminishing of desire and the ego. When the ego is subdued, hatred, discrimination, selfishness, and craving are also diminished. Forgiveness, tolerance, and loving kindness is nurtured instead. Peace comes from within. Inner peace leads to true happiness that is not dependent on having material possessions that can cause people to fight each other. A person whose mind is free from attachment is a person who is not enslaved by his ego, and he is at peace with himself and the world. Let us reflect on the meaning of the atomic bombings that happened 79 years ago last month, and not only that, on the senselessness of war itself. Nobody wins in a war. By giving in to anger and use of force to resolve issues, mankind loses. All of humanity loses. The loss of life and the destruction of property makes all the participants in a conflict losers. The Duke of Wellington, I don't know if you're familiar with that figure in history, he was the one who defeated the Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte in the Battle of Waterloo in the year 1815. After he won, but seeing so many dead and wounded soldiers, both his and the enemy, he said, "Next to a battle lost, the saddest thing is a battle won." You understand the meaning of that, yeah? Even if you win a battle, it is still a sad event because you lose so many of your comrades, your fellow soldiers, and so on. The only time violence is ever justified is in self-defense situations, and only with the least amount of force necessary to stop an attack against one's personal safety. Without inner peace, outer peace is impossible. World peace will never be achieved unless we establish peace within ourselves, our own minds first. In closing, I would like to quote a passage from the Dhammapada, the sayings of Shakyamuni Buddha. "He was angry with me. He attacked me. He defeated me. He robbed me." Those who dwell on such thoughts will never be free from hatred. "He was angry with me. He attacked me. He defeated me. He robbed me." Those who do not dwell on such thoughts will surely be free from hatred. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Reverend Kalu. For those of us who were not around when World War II was, we wouldn't know about that. So we're learning things also about that, and the fact that, what Buddha says, that, we're not all we're all the same. would you please rise for the Gatha Shinshu Anthem in this Praises of the Buddha book on page 147, and then continue to stand for the Nembutsu, okay, in the Jodo Shinshu Service book on page 135.
conditions are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one is freed of suffering. This is the path to purity. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Please be seated. We'll have announcement now by Mrs. Cynthia Rodriguez.
Good morning, everybody. Well, Dennis couldn't be with us this morning, so I get the job here. Okay. Thank yous. Thank you to Reverend Soul for conducting the service and the Dharma Talk, Shirley for being MC, Jerry for the greeter, and Joy for playing the piano, and Ryan for our IT needs. Thanks to everyone who attended the Ring Your Bells for Peace Day event that we had here at the temple this past Friday. We joined hundreds of other people via Zoom and rang the Kansho. I think Ryan has some pictures on the screen. We caused a lot of ruckus in the neighborhood. Okay. So next Sunday's service will be a regular family service, and the service will be led by Reverend Soul, and Bob Nishita will provide a Dharma message. Our adult Dharma classes will begin on Saturday, October 5th, from 10 to 11:30 a.m., and will run for about 10 to 12 weeks. There's a sign-up sheet in the back, so if you're interested in joining, please sign up. And also, there will be a book available at a later date. Temple cleaning has been rescheduled for next week Sunday after refreshments. So if you're here, please help us to clean the temple. Now, anything from Merle?
Okay, coming up very shortly on October 5th, Saturday, is the Windward Mall Bone Dance. We are co-sponsors with Higashi Hongwanji and Windward Mall. We will have our, I guess, a sales booth with food items and some craft items. But we will also be selling freshly made andagi, and that is the draw. That is what sells very quickly. And we have to make that freshly made at the Windward Mall in the loading area. So we're looking for help to mix the dough, to cook, to package. We are looking for help probably in the range of about 2:30 to 45 to, we think we'll be done cooking by like 7 or so. The bone dance itself runs from 3:45 to 8:45 p.m. And they're going to have a lot of different things this year. I think they're having a lion dance even. And Aya Taheji, who does our bone dance, will be there for live. And they have, I think they have some of the Okinawan dance troops as well. So this year they're really expanded what they're going to do. And if you saw last year, it was packed. The mall was just packed. But we do need help. So Dennis has a sign-up sheet in the back for people to help us during that time. So if you can lend us a hand, whether it's packing the andagi or helping with the cooking, we would appreciate that. So that's in the back as well, okay? And then we also have flyers. The mall has created flyers. So we have flyers for everyone, half-sheet flyers. So you put it up on your refrigerator so you don't forget it's coming up on October 5th, okay?
Thank you, Merle. Joy, do you have anything? Car wash?
Yeah, it's today from 11 to 2.
From 11 to 2, okay. Can I be the first one?
Whoever's in the line.
Okay, for the Windward Mall Bone Dance, we're going to be selling takuang and bitter melon namasu. Okay, so on Wednesday, coming Wednesday, we're going to be making the takuang and the namasu. And so we start at 8 o'clock. Anybody can help doing the cutting of the daikon and the bitter melon. Please come and help. Thank you.
Thank you, Cookie. And Cookie is an excellent teacher on how to cut the takuan and the bitter melon. Really, I learned a lot from him. So any other announcements before we break? Okay, let's all do the words of thanksgiving found in your red service book or on, I guess Ryan will put it on. Okay. We are truly grateful for the wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share the benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddha's compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you.